Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. I think it's April Fool's Day. Ha 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 ha. I wonder what the criminals are going to prank today. They usually do. But we had so much rain last night. It was absolutely crazy. Our governor declared a state of emergency for Western Kentucky. I'm in Eastern Kentucky, but we're supposed to get some winds this evening. We'll see what happens. But this is what the creek looks like today. See how roaring it is. You stop here for a moment. See it? And I apologize for the blurriness. That has to do with what the criminals did to my phone. But I've received several questions and comments, some via email. I won't name the names of the people, with regard to my post about the legalization of medical cannabis. Do you notice that they used cannabis and not marijuana? It becomes tricky. The wording becomes very, very tricky. Okay, folks? So anyway, I'm going to tell you what my background is and why I ventured the opinion that this medicalized cannabis is just going to be another weapon, another money-making, money grab, and another way of trading one addiction for the next. And I gave the example about heroin. And, you know, I'm in my 60s, so back in the day, many years ago, I dated a guy, and his mistress was heroin. And actually, we were engaged, and I broke up the engagement when he started using again. We had our wedding hall booked and everything. I had a huge engagement ring, and I ended it, gave it all back because, I'm sorry, folks, if I'm going to marry you, you're not going to have a mistress, and it's not going to be heroin. So anyway, as a result of that, I had met with his psychiatrists, his doctors. I read everything imaginable on it. I really wanted to understand what was happening because he was such a nice guy. He was smart. He was a musician. You know, he worked in a recording studio. He was intelligent and spiritual before I ever became so. So it's just an absolute tragedy that this wonderful individual was addicted to this horrific drug. Well, the methadone maintenance program began, and he was able to participate. Oh, look what I found here, guys. I found an eggshell. It's a little blue eggshell. One of my chickies probably laid some eggs around here somewhere. But so he was enrolled in this methadone maintenance program. So he stopped shooting up, which, you know, this is a horrible thing, to stick a needle in your arm to get high. The dangers of that are unmistakable. You can get tetanus. He was going into really bad neighborhoods in the South Bronx, Harlem. Very bad, very, very bad stuff. So here you are, you've got a dispensary where you line up outside, you've got your number, you sign in, and you get your methadone for the whole weekends. Yes, folks, because, you know, it's not open all on the weekends. So now this is like giving candy to a baby. So Friday, all the addicts, the recovering addicts, alleged recovering addicts, would line up for their methadone. And they'd be given doses for the entire weekends. Guess what they do? Yes, folks, they take it all at one time, get high and overdose and all those wonderful things. And out of the mouth of my ex-boyfriend, he said that kicking the addiction of methadone was 10 times worse than kicking the addiction of heroin. He said heroin detox is horrible. He said for a whole week, you have the worst possible flu of your life. You're shaking, you're hot, you're cold, you're vomiting, but it only lasts a week. He said with methadone, it's just impossible. He says you want to kill somebody, you want to kill yourself. And it's sort of like that with benzodiazepines. But that's another topic for another day. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I have to check the community guidelines if I'm allowed to speak about benzodiazepines and the negative side effects because... And I wanted to say also that I was the chairperson for the Manalapan Alcohol and Drug Alliance for a year. And prior to that, I was on the committee for 6 years. So I did volunteer work for 6 years. And as a result of that, and I started to attend Narateen and AA meetings, I wanted to learn everything possible. I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. I don't take an aspirin. I don't drink soda pop. So I was there to learn and learn from the parents and learn from the addicts. And one thing I know for sure, they all lie. They lie. And there's something called hitting bottom. That's another topic for another day also, but it's when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and you finally take matters into your own hands. Whatever it is, whether you're in a loveless relationship and you finally decide to leave because you've given up the fear, whether it is wanting to lose those extra pounds and finally saying, you know what, I'm going to change my diet and start exercising. It's no different with an addict. These are all addictions. You're addicted to a person, you're addicted to food, you're addicted to a drug. Drugs can be pernicious. It's intentionally designed to hook you, just like certain foods and just like certain people. You know, malignant narcissists, they're extremely charming. Oh, I'll be better next time. You know, I'll be better next time. They'll shower you with gifts and lure you in and then for the kill. And you never get away. But these drugs are intentionally designed to hook you. That's the way they make money. This is the way they control you. This is the way they control the people with drugs. When you alter your mind, when you alter your reality, how are you supposed to make a wise choice? And I see this in the targeting community too. And this is not an assault on anybody that smokes pot or takes antidepressants and stuff like that. If you need it, you need it. But you are setting yourself up for more torture in this program. It wants you to be addicted. It wants you to do the unthinkable. They want you to commit suicide. They want you to act out. They want you to be so addicted that you'll do anything for that drug. And medical cannabis. Do you notice they use cannabis and not marijuana? Okay? What does medical mean? Medical means that it's going to be regulated. It's going to go through insurance. Another money grab. It means that you will have deductibles. It means that you will need a prescription. Right? These are all rules and regulations, and this is a way for governments and cities and states to make a lot of money, because what do? They're going to have to set up dispensaries. They're going to have to set up coding for it, new codes, new doctors to dispense it, to diagnose you that you need it or don't. Just remember, a lot of people that really needed it in the past were denied and had to fly to other states. And now there are 37 states that are involved in regulating and dispensing medical cannabis. Not marijuana, cannabis. So what does that mean also? That means that they're going to be growing this stuff somewhere. They're going to be growing it in a lab. What if it's genetically modified cannabis, folks? Genetically modified. Who's going to grow it? What companies will be growing it? Pfizer? Who's going to grow medical cannabis? I want to know. If anybody out there knows, please let me know. I haven't performed the research. I'm just speaking from somebody with a lot of experience in addiction and addiction to drugs. I have been studying this for decades, since I'm a teenager. And in my undergraduate degree, which was in psychology, abnormal, deviant, and violent psychology, with a concentration in addictive behaviors, folks. So I've been studying this a long time, and of course my master's thesis topic was about medicating children diagnosed falsely with ADHD and the negative consequences of those drugs. This has been like a lifelong study for me. And ironically, I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. I have no interests. Zero. My drug of choice is a cup of coffee and a piece of chocolate. Maybe a few pieces of chocolate. Back in the day, like when I was a teenager, it was those Entenmann's cakes. Until I read the label and realized, oh my God, this is like not even healthy. There's hydrogenated vegetable oils and words that I can't even pronounce. But I just wanted to clarify that. Those are my thoughts. Coming from extensive experience. I'm so curious to see how this is going to play out. And they're using the plausible denial. Oh, well, you know, our veterans suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm not negating that, folks. These folks have been through hell. And anything that helps them should be done for them. But we all know as targeted people that a lot of other nasty things are being done to them. And how many of them are homeless? Homeless. Or in shelters. Being experimented on. So, I beg to differ that they're doing such a good thing with medical cannabis. I want to know where it's going to be grown, who's growing it, and if it's genetically modified. Hey, Tina, stay away from that water. I'm not jumping in to save you. Come here, girl. Hey! I'm going to sign off for now. Get these chicky poos safe. This is Moraine Alternative Homesteading signing off for now.